This is our front garden, our front vegetable garden. It's surrounded by a hedge to keep out the varmints, deer and humans. We're changing the way we do our garden beds. We used to have, you can see down there, Besser blocks, terraces made with Besser blocks at the front. Problem with that was that as we added more inputs, it became much bigger than the Besser blocks, and if we put 2 Besser blocks on, they were eventually pushed over. So we're moving to wood now. As you can see, it looks a bit like a construction site, but we've finished the bottom 3 beds. You can see them there, and we've got 3 beds up the top to do now. We've done around the outside, and we've pulled up most of the Besser blocks. You can see holes where they were, and big stacks of them, and a few plants are still left in there. We've cleared most of them away. We had tomatoes in there, but we've got a lot of fruit fly at the moment, so we pulled all the tomatoes out. Not much point growing them when they just get eaten by fruit fly. And there's a bird. He eats grasshoppers, and he's always welcome to come into our garden and eat grasshoppers. Our top bed here is going to have pawpaws in it. The reason for that is it's right up against a north facing wall, so it gets the winter heat. So we're going to plant pawpaws in this top bed, and maybe in the second top bed as well. You can see here we've left a little gap between the cement and the boards, so this will allow any water that falls here to actually run into this and go into the bed, but too much water will actually roll down the side here and off onto the grass. This is a bit of a close-up of the old way we did the terracing with the Besser blocks. When we put compost into that and dig it all up, it becomes quite big, and what happens then is the bed slopes from about here to about here, which we basically lose it as growing area. So the new way of doing it with wood should mean less wastage in the garden, more growing area. Just to give you a bit of an idea of what we're doing, these bottom beds are quite steep, so they've had 2 bits of wood. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Our next bed has just got a single bit of wood because it's much flatter here. The slope is much more level, and there'll be, the next bed up will be 1, and the next bed up will be 1, and then the next bed up will be 2. So I'll show you that in a little while. These are the paths we're using at the moment, just Besser blocks held in place with pipe and filled. These ones are held in place with pipe and haven't been filled yet. That's because we've got a lot of oxalis in this bed, and so I'm just waiting for the oxalis to come up so I can pull it up. And I might end up filling it with compost before then, which will be okay. I can just pull the compost out. Okay, so let's get to work. After our morning's work, we've got our top bed completed. We've got a string line up for the next one, and 1 post in, 3 posts to go. We've done some more work now and got the second one, so you can see we now have 3 beds. A very big bed, same as that bed there, and then 2 smaller beds. We've just started the path going along here, in the same way as we've got the path going along there. So that'll be the path going along the end there. And all these besser blocks have to come out, of course. Oh, being attacked by a fly. That's all. Just another update on how we're doing with this, getting these beds ready for planting. We've taken out everything except the celery and a small lot of spinach. We've got all the wood in, and we're about halfway along with our path, so that's all soon be completed. Then we can add sand and compost and plants. We're at the stage now where we can start working on making the dirt into rich soil. So what we've done in the top bed is we've dug it up, like in our second bed. We're partway through digging that up. Then we put sand over the top, and then it's dug through with a spade. And then we put chicken manure pellets on top, and then we add compost and we spade that in. We've got the sand and a big pile of compost all ready to go in these beds. So we've got a few days work ahead of us. We'll keep you informed. So we've finished the top bed. As I mentioned before, first we dig it up, as this second bed is. Then we add sand to it and dig the sand in. So that's a second dig.
To a spade length deep.
To a spade length deep, so about 30 centimetres.
Yeah, a bit more maybe.
Yeah. Then we added some compost on top of that, quite a lot of compost, and then we dug that in with the spade again, getting the compost down to 30 centimetres. Then we put some more compost on that and used the
rotary cultivator.
Rotary cultivator to make the top all nice and fine tilth, and mix the dirt and chicken pellets with the
sand and compost.
Sand and compost. Okay, then we just put those metal things on to stop the mulch blowing away, because it's quite windy here today and it will blow away unless we put something down. So that's where we've come so far. Here we are again, showing how we're going with preparing these 3 beds. The top bed is all done and planted up. The next bed has been dug up all the way along and has had sand and compost added to it. Probably add a bit more compost to that before we dig that in with a spade. We've just run out at the moment. We have to get in another 3 cubic metres. And here we have this bed just being dug up. You can see there the roots that came out of this bed. They were quite huge. So basically we try and dig it over just to make it a bit easy to dig it next. Then we put some sand down, and then we put some compost down. We spade that over again. Then we put more compost down, more chicken manure, and then we run the cultivator over that. So that's how it all goes. Rest of our garden's looking very green, all very nice. It's going to be a long hot summer, and we will get water restrictions here, so we better enjoy this while we can, because it will all die eventually. Okay, then we just have to wait for rain. Here we are, we've done the second bed down now. It's fully done and watered and ready for planting. You can see we've done 2/3 of the other bed. It needs 1/3 needs some more compost. We've run out of compost, and then it all needs to be covered up with mulch and given a good deep water to start the normalising process. And here it is, the 3 beds completed. One of them we've got planted up with beans and peanuts. The other 2 are yet to be planted. We're expecting rain in the next 3 days, so hopefully it'll get a bit of water into the beds, and I'll think of what we can plant in there. There it is, garden preparation. And here's an aerial view, because we started with an aerial view, so we'll finish with an aerial view. So we've got it way back.
Looking good. That's a terrific veggie garden growing space, isn't it?
Yeah.